These are very often emotional reasons. So you buy because of emotion, you justify with logic. So think about when you're selling something to somebody. Are you just talking about features and benefits? What this thing would do for you? Or are you pushing those emotional hot buttons? I remember one time I was in Harry Rosen, which is a very well-known kind of menswear store, high-end in Vancouver. I walked into the store and I was walking by the Tom Ford section. And the salesman approached me and say, "Sir, well, is there anything I can help you with?" I said, "No, I'm just browsing around." And he said, "Do me a favor, put this suit on." Now, at the time, I've never owned a Tom Ford suit before. I have a lot of suits, but I don't have a Tom Ford suit. He said, "Do me a favor, put this on." I said, "All right." I put it on. He said, "How do you feel?" "Well, it feels pretty good." I said, "Okay, I'll also try this on, put on this tuxedo." I said, "Okay, that's pretty cool." He said, "Oh, it looks great." He said, "Sir, are you a fan of James Bond?" I was like, "Who isn't a fan of James Bond?" Like, duh. He said, "You see this suit right here, this tuxedo, is the exact suit, exact same design as James Bond wears in Casino Royale. You know the scene when he was gambling? Fuck, it looks good, right?" And before you know it, I bought the damn fucking tuxedo, right? And it's a lot of money, costs a lot of money. And if you think about that, what am I buying? I'm buying emotions. What I'm buying is this. I'm buying when I wear this tuxedo, I mean, I feel good. As a James Bond fan, I feel like James Bond. Even logically, I know this, of course, it's not James Bond. I'm not James Bond. But emotionally, it takes me there. This is cool that I own, I wear the same tuxedo, the same fit, right? The same everything. And then he upsold me on the damn, like the shirt and the cuffling, the whole 9 yard, right? That's what I'm talking about. People buy because of emotions and they justify with logic. You have to understand that. Don't push your products. Don't just push your services. Don't push the features and benefits. Think about what are those emotional hot buttons that you're pushing. Number two, people don't buy their way into something. They buy their way out of something. It means people very often they're buying something because they have a problem they want solved. They want to buy their way out of that problem. People don't buy the drill, they want to hold on the wall. So what is it that you're helping them solve? That what problem? What is it? What is that thing? You have to understand. So I always say the amount of money that you make is in direct proportion to how deep you understand your marketplace's pain. The amount of money you make is in direct proportion of how deep you go, how much you understand your marketplace's pain. So you have to understand what it is, what are the pains that people have, and how can you help them relieve some of that pain? So think about that. Number three, people don't buy products and services, they buy stories. Because when there are so many choices out there in the marketplace, on the internet, any product that you want, there are hundreds and hundreds of choices. How do you stand out? How do you add emotions to a commodity, a pen? What's the difference between a $2 pen like this or an $800 Mont Blanc John F. Kennedy limited edition exclusive pen? $800 pen. It's the same pen. It's the same functions. Story. When you add story to an item, suddenly when you add the John F. Kennedy, the president's story attached to a brand, to a logo, it is 10 times more valuable. It is 100 times more valuable. It is 300 times more valuable, that particular pen. All because the story, you write the same. A $2 pen you can write too. That's the difference. So think about what's the story? How can you inject stories into everything that you do? Maybe it's an origin story. How did you get started? Why do you do what you do? What are also stories of your customers? I just launched a new YouTube channel. You can click on the link below. I'll put a link below in the description. You can check it out. It's the Dan Lok Global Community on YouTube. It has nothing to do with the program that I teach. It has everything to do with stories. It's stories for my students, what they have learned, their background, their stories. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with the program that I run. It has nothing to do with that. but stories. It's other people's stories, other people's success stories. So where are you using stories in your marketing, in your business? How else can you use stories? Remember, facts tell, stories sell. Facts tell, stories sell. So comment below.
Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Digital Dynasty. Hope everybody is feeling amazing. How is everyone feeling on this Thursday, 6:05? Leadership, ready to go ahead and dive into today's training. Can you guys drop some 111s down below if you guys can hear me, if you can see me clearly? Let me know. How are we feeling coming into today? So much value been poured in for the week. I love the speakers that have actually laid it down. Crypto, building the business, how to prospect, how to go ahead and set us up in all different areas. So it's safe to say we're surrounded with the right people, right place, right time. All that's left for every single one of us is to go ahead and run the play. And I want to tell you, I see the energy, I see the momentum in the chat. So everybody go ahead and do me a favor, give yourself a pat on the back, right? Because if nobody told you today, let me be the first to tell you, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. So house rules, as always, before we go ahead and get locked and loaded for tonight's call. Number one, make sure you go ahead and get rid of all different distractions. I'm talking cell phones, anything else that is going to disrupt this next 35 minutes. Do me a favor and lock in. Let me see who's serious. Who's got their pens? Who's got their papers out? Femi, I see you in the building. Warrior Spirit, let's go. Cedric, I love to see it. Fired up. Samuel, my man's ready to pop some ranks. Let's go. So today, fam, we're going to be going over the road to Platinum 600. Drop some sevens down below if you guys are ready to go ahead and smash through Platinum 600, because this is a foundational rank, right? I can tell you guys right now, any Chairman 10 and above, all they've been able to do is learn how to go ahead and hit this rank and then duplicate it over and over and over and over again. Everybody that sees people traveling different states, different countries, guess what they're doing? They're just duplicating this same system. So tonight, I want to go ahead and break it down, maybe in a different way that you've seen before, to allow you to see things in a different perspective, right? That's what Jim Rohn says. Change the way we see things, the way we see things will change. So with no further ado, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I believe this is going to be a very impactful training for all of us. So let's go ahead and get into today. Y'all ready? Love it, love it. All right. Am I pinned? Can you guys see me? It's good? Awesome. All right, so let's get started. Okay, the road to Platinum 600. Here we go. So my slogan for this one is, what business are you really in? And for those that were asking me, that shot me a DM, who was playing at the beginning, that's Dan Locke. And I'm going to use a couple of things that he talked about in this video to show you not just why it is people buy, because you saw it. People justify with logic, but they buy off of emotion. Well, here's some of the details, peeling back the layers for today, okay? So my story, right? Before we go ahead and get started, here's the content. Here's the layout for tonight's call, okay? I'm going to be touching on my story a little bit. Then we're going to dive into 3 important questions. What business are we in? What business are we really in? And then number 3, what business do we need to be in the next 6 months coming into the future, okay? Then 3 is going to be the Brian Tracy model. Some of you have seen it. Maybe some of you have not, but another great tool to go ahead and also teach. Okay, number 4 is going to be Pareto's principle. For those of you that have seen any big business that operates, that explodes, that has quantum leaps, they operate with Pareto's principle. And you're going to learn the percentages as we get into tonight if you haven't seen that yet. Okay, number 5 is going to be skills to work on, right? What is the skill? What are we going to master? What are we locked in and focused on for the month of January, February, coming into Budapest, all the way down the line to Arizona Regional? Okay, number 6 is going to be the awareness test. I've got a really cool video and I got a challenge, right? I want to see who's got the eagle eye, who's really tapped in with the power of awareness. So remember number 6, I'm going to hold y'all accountable to that one. And number 7, I got a little bonus. 7 is going to be pretty cool. So stay till the end. Y'all are definitely going to like that one. So if you guys are ready to dive in, let me see some 3s down below and let's go ahead and launch tonight's training. Let me see who's locked and loaded, who's got their pens, who's got their notebooks. Give me 35 minutes. We're going to go ahead and run through this. Let's go. I love to see it. All right. So for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Dylan Fine. I'm 30 years young. I'm from Philadelphia. And I actually came down to Florida to be a full-time athlete. For my athletes on the call, I played it all: baseball, basketball, track. But as I started to get all, how to choose. So in college, I played basketball. And right when I graduated, I remember getting an email about 6 months before I finished. And it was saying I had 6 months to start paying back $33,000 worth of my debt. Mind you, at the time, I had no job. I was just playing ball, and I took out loans. So I said, you know what? Let me figure it out once I actually get done. So long story short, as I ended up finishing, all my roommates were athletes, and they were going out the Wasted Wednesdays, the Thirsty Thursdays, and I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get into any mess. I had to get myself focused, and I decided to live out of my car the last 6 months of college. Right. So I had no job, and I'm actually scrolling through my Facebook one night, because people ask me all the time, well, D, where does that Impact 1 billion come from? Some of you saw it in the front flyer, my logo. Well, here's where it actually started, right? And it comes into Define Dreams. I was scrolling through my Facebook one night, sleeping in my car my last 6 months, and I saw a whole bunch of RIPs, RIP, RIP, and I finally saw the tag. Well, the tag, when I clicked on it, was actually my sister. My sister passed away from cancer at 28, 27 years old. Literally right as she was about to turn 28. And it woke me up. You know, I'm getting out of school. I'm seeing everybody make $10, $12, $15 an hour. And I'm just like, we just spent all of this time, all of this money for what? I know what I can do. Drop a 5 down below if you guys know the potential that you have, but maybe you just needed somebody to go ahead and light your spark, light your fire. That was me. All I needed was somebody to just give me a jump start, kick me off the ground. So that's how it began. So Define Dreams was then created. I sat down, I realized nobody's really ever taken the time to really define their own dreams. That's why they say most people, they live till 75, but they pass at 25 mentally. They never kept the vision going. So that's how I got started into entrepreneurship. I got obsessed with the law of attraction, manifestation. How many of you guys have ever heard of Tony Robbins, right? My name is Dylan Anthony Fine. I heard my first video when I was sleeping out of my car from Tony, and it captivated me. I started crying. I'm looking at the video, and I looked at his name. I'm like, Tony Robbins. My name is Dylan Anthony Fine. My mother's first name is Robin. Her maiden name is Robinson. And I was like, whoa. And I realized I was actually named after Tony Robbins. I called my dad. I said, how come you never told me? He said, I was waiting for you to figure it out. So something interesting for all of you, go do some research on your name, because there's probably a bigger backstory than you actually know. So I got one DM that ended up introducing me to the industry. And it was so funny. At the time, there was only 1,200 customers, right? We didn't have crypto. We didn't have all of these success testimonies to have that belief and have that faith. All we had was Chris Terry. Chris Derrick would get on. Mike Miles, the OGs know, would do their midnight sessions and 2 a.m. And we would get on that thing religiously. And that's how I got introduced, being able to really see much bigger than what I thought. I saw Alex Morton, you name it, I probably sold it. Energy drinks, hair products, shoes, cars, real estate. This was the first platform that I ever saw. I never had to put anybody on. I didn't have to post on social media. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I'm from Philly. I don't know about you guys, but I've been scammed a lot. So when I talk to people, I tell them straight up, there's probably nobody more skeptical than me. So if you're skeptical, realize people in the same shoes, this is why your story is relatable. Your feel, felt, found. I feel you. I felt the same way until I found out. Changed the whole game for me starting out. Okay. So getting into the training, it's been 2017. I've been able to see this company completely transform. Neno, Mina, AWOL, just the growth is absolutely phenomenal to see. And the system that we have, the vision with our leaders, it's safe to say that we are doing nothing but going up. So let's dive in. First part of tonight's training, we're going to be going over these 3 questions. Okay. What business are we in? If I were to ask every one of you, what's your answer when somebody asks you, what do you do? Drop it down in the chat. Let me know. When somebody shoots you a DM, when you guys start building the relationship and they ask you, what do you do? I'm curious to know, what is your answer? What do you say? Let me see. Okay. Love it. Good stuff. We're trading. We're digital entrepreneurs. We're in a global entrepreneurship community, a business that educates people on digital skill sets. I love it. right? So the easy way to answer, right? We're into trading, we're into crypto. We help people grow a brand on social media. We can help you go ahead and grow an online store, an online business. Well, that's the surface level. But if you guys paid attention to the video that I just played, right? Everything is methodical. There's a method to my madness. What did Dan Locke just say? People justify with what? Logic. But what do they buy with? Emotion. So for us to tell them all the fancy features and abilities, that's cool. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's just logic. That doesn't trigger people to buy. It doesn't trigger them to make a difference. And if you think about yourself, you didn't just take the step because of just this. You took the step because of 2 and 3. Pay attention, right? Allow me to elaborate. Second question is, what business are you really in? What business are we really in? Well, I wrote a couple ideas down below, just off the top of my head. We're in the business of building a community. We're in the business of helping others build a closer relationship to God, the universe, whoever that might be for them. We're in the business of growing in all areas of life. We're in the business of helping others stretch like a t-shirt, right? Just like a t-shirt, when it's stretched, when it expands, it never goes back to the same size. Does this make sense? This is how you trigger somebody emotionally. This is how you trigger them to go ahead and really take the step to make a decision. So when I talk to people, the facts is cool. Trading is amazing. E-commerce is phenomenal, but it doesn't trigger them to buy. Your story is what's going to allow them to see things differently, okay? One of my favorite questions is this. When was the last time that you were on a winning team? Let that sink in. Go put that post on your story tonight and tag me and let me know what people say. Most people, they couldn't even tell you. Yo, it's been since high school. Been since I couldn't even tell you last time I was on a winning team. Here's the fact about psychology, right? People hate to be left out of something exclusive. You see, when I was just telling my friends about it, they're like, all right, D, that's cool, but I don't really care. It's kind of like one ear and out the other. You guys experienced that? Drop a 1 down below if you guys have felt like you've talked to people and it feels like it goes in one ear and out the other, okay? This is why I love what we're doing right now. This community base, being able to show others winning. Dan Locke just said he made a whole website just to strictly show testimonials. I think we should do the same thing. I think we should have a spot where we have nothing but testimonials from all of us, and we can send that out to anybody. Why? Because it's one thing when someone does it, but it's a whole different story to see a community, a group winning. People hate to be left out of something that's exclusive, right? This is why everybody that does lives, everybody that collaborates, I love it, because we're showing the community. And most people, I can tell you right now, they don't have a winning community to be in, and they're looking for it. They might not say it, but I'm telling you, they're looking for it, right? Because we go fast by ourselves. We go far with a family. It's the truth, okay? So the next piece is, what business do we need to be in the next 6 months? This is important. This is another thing you can go talk about on a reel. This is something else we can go talk about on our stories face to face. We all see what's happening with AI. We all know what's going on with crypto, but the world has no idea. You see, in this game, we play chess. We don't play checkers. We're playing 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. That's why we're investing right now when the whole world is afraid. We buy the fear and sell the greed, right? So it's one thing for us to have this knowledge, but how many people don't know this? They don't have the access. And here's what I know. I have a bachelor's degree in marketing. We can have the best sliced bread. We can have the best product in the world. But here's what I ended up figuring out. If nobody knows who we are, if nobody knows the value that we have, we're a ghost. If they're not watching our TV show, they're going to go find somebody else to watch. So we might as well be the main spotlight. Drop a 5 down below if you guys are ready to go ahead and be the spotlight to showcase our values, showcase your story, showcase the experiences that we've been able to grow through. Think about Budapest. People seeing 10,000 plus people in a room, winning, growing, elevated, excited, fired up. That's a different type of energy people are looking for. So when people ask you, what are you focused on? This is it right here. Building a community, getting closer to God, growing in all areas, stretching, and being prepared for what's to come in the future. Because those that aren't are going to be like Blockbuster. That fail to adapt, eventually they get dropped. That's how it goes, right? So this is key. It's important to understand. diving into crypto, e-learning. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but e-learning in 2024 is one of the biggest business spaces that exists as far as revenue goes, right? Do your research and you're going to see. So we're so far ahead of the curve, it's not even funny, right? The power of residual income. You guys know the acronym RICH and poor, right? Rich, residual income creates happiness, poor, passing over opportunity repeatedly. So people need to learn the power of residual income, okay? And multiple streams. We have 8 different streams here with IM. It's plus, it's ridiculous. 6 alone pretty much just with crypto. All right, next. Here's my next piece for you. This is the Brian Tracy model. Some of you have seen it, maybe you haven't, but this is a good one, okay? 4 things. I only got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to keep this quick. So, four simple questions right here. What can we do less? What can we do more? What can we start? And what can we stop? Every one of us, this is going to be different, and that's okay. That's what this game is about. This is individualized. Success is different to all of us. Our distractions are all different, but if we don't take the time to write this down for ourselves, it's kind of like information overload. We keep on getting books, we keep on doing trainings, but nothing changes. That's the saying of insanity. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So today, I want to give everybody a tactical action plan, right? Yes, motivation is phenomenal, but I'm not here for motivation. I'm here to get everybody off of this call with a game plan to implement right here, right now. And here's how we're going to do it, okay? So 4 things. Less. What can we do less of? Maybe we can do less of scrolling, less of hanging out with individuals that's draining our energy. Whatever that may be, there needs to be a pain associated with it, okay? For me, doing less, I need to get up from my computer less, right? One of the things that I learned recently, a distraction can literally take up 23 minutes of our time, believe it or not. Anytime that, Steph, you know about this, right? Anytime you guys want to get distracted, like whether it's go scroll or go get up and go take a walk, what I'm doing is I'm sitting down for an extra 10 minutes. I'm going to finish the activity. I'm going to knock it out. Because that's what ends up happening. The brain wants to go elsewhere. No. I'm going to finish it first. Then I'm going to get up and go. I'm going to finish my 10 DMs. I'm going to finish my networking, whatever it is. And then I'm going to go do it. Okay. So that's my do less. Do more. What can we do more of? This is kind of like the Ed Milet, the power of one more call, one more DM, one more event during the week, reaching out to one, whatever that may be. The power of one more is so huge. It adds up, it compounds. And what can we start and stop? What can we start and stop? We think something and then we do or don't do it. And that sustained energy ends up producing the results. So think about it. If we have the thought to get on a go live, we either do it or we don't. If we do it, we can go out and apply something to get results. If we don't do it, then the results are going to show. This is how everything works. We think, we either do or don't, and then the results happen. 3 simple steps. So imagine if everything we did, we said we're going to actually do it instead of don't, okay? Stop. The definition of stress, this is actually really cool. The definition of stress is real simple. It's when our thoughts, our actions, and our results are not in alignment. Kind of like every time we said we're going to go to the gym and we don't go, that creates stress. We said we're going to get on a go live. We said we're going to be on time and plug in and we don't. This is what's creating unneeded stress that none of us need, right? It's huge. All right, next. QLQs, right? Quantum linguistic questions. This is one of my favorite things I ever learned from one of our mentors, right? QLQ. Y'all are like, D, what the heck is a QLQ? I got you. Give me a sec. QLQ, right? Anytime the brain asks a question, it has to go find the answer. That's how we're wired. That's how we're built. Hold up, my laptop's gonna die. Right, so here's my first QLQ. Who are you becoming when the changes you have made, when we've made the changes that need to be made to grow our business? Who do we become? What time does that individual wake up? What's their IPAs look like in the day? How many people are they reaching out? How many events are they doing? Right, second bullet point. What's the ripple effect of our life when we've stepped into these changes? When we've really gotten serious about what is that we're going to go do? Okay. Number 3, exactly. Who do you become when the brain performs at its highest capacity? What do we have to do to have our brain perform? Believe it or not, exercising, that plays a role. Think about sitting water. Water that sits too long gets stagnant. It gets moldy. So if we're sitting too long, it's easy to go ahead and get stagnant. So I always like to move. This is why some of us run the 75 hard challenge. Because believe it or not, we're going to win in life long before we win in business, right? They both affect each other. Who do you become when we hit a 10K, 25 a month like Neno? What are the fundamental changes that take place? Chairman 50, what changes? What's different? What does life look like? How often are we sending our gratitude? What changes do we see that we would no longer do right now, right? And then Pareto's principle. Some people talk about the 80-20. I broke it down a little bit more in detail. 80, 15, and 5. 80% of this business, 80% of IM plus is customers. You know that, right? 80% plus of this business are either trading, e-commerce, social media, travel. There's only 15 to 20% that's actually building the business. That's allowed us to go ahead and hit over 250,000 active customers. That's pretty wild to think about, right? But that's how any real business is built with Pareto's principle. You have 80% of mainly customers. You're going to have 15% that are serious. And then you have the 5. Then you have guess what? Everybody go ahead and drop a 5 down below. Because guess who's the 5? We the 5s. This is the 5 right here. This is the starting 5. So guess what? The 5s light up the 15s, the 15%. So I want you guys to take today and I want you to think about, yo, who's my 5s in my business? Who's my 5%? Because I'm going to give you guys a hack. If you can light up your 5%, if you can light up your 15%, allow them to win, hit the next rank, get a withdrawal, get a sale in their e-commerce store, that momentum is going to bleed off into the 80%. And guess what? Now we start having customers that are ready to go ahead and get their 2 and free. They're ready to really start tapping in. They're ready to start helping people because they see others winning. This is the funnel. This is how it works. Okay. So I got a couple of other QLQs you guys can go ahead and take down just to get a sneak peek at who do I become when I get up a half hour earlier. But let's go ahead and finish this thing off. I've got 3 minutes. Okay. Skills to master. This is good. So whatever skill that you guys want to master, let me know down below. Is it Forex? Is it trading? Is it e-commerce? Is it social media? Let me know. I'm curious to see. I'm heavy in e-commerce, all in with crypto, heavy on the crypto package. We're tapped in with Mike, tapped in with Nick, tapped in with Kurt, tapped in with Joey. That's me. I know what I'm locked in on. You guys need to know as well, because your team is going to do what you do. So if we're not plugged in, they're not going to plug in. If we don't know, they're going to say the same thing. I don't know what I'm plugged into. I don't know what I'm focused on. Trend trap, crypto, trading. Let's go. I love it. Trading, e-com, trend trap. Let's go. Yes, 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 yes. We got the goats on here. Okay, so the second question, how much is this skill costing us by not going all in? P6, that's an extra $7,200 a year because we might be afraid to talk to people. I know the feeling. I've been there, right? That could be 6 figures in an e-commerce store. That could be 6 figures in crypto because we're not investing into ourselves right now. How much money are we leaving on the table by not going all in? My mentor told me, he's like, dude, you're missing out on millions by not taking yourself seriously, by not investing in yourself. It's real stuff. Same thing for all of us. So the question is, what can we do today to move the needle? We can get off this call. We can invest right now in getting off this call. We can all do one thing, getting off this call to move the needle, to go ahead and beat at that skill set, whatever that may be. Trading, get on a go live. We have some sessions on tonight. And then last question, Waddles D. Waddles, right? If you guys don't know who that is, spelled his name wrong. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Here's my example for that. I used to journal all the time, right? I'm actually on my this is crazy. I'm on my 500 and let me see, 555 days journaling straight. If you guys have never seen me, look on my story. You'll see I document it every day. So I used to journal a lot, but I didn't have the feeling. I didn't really have the emotion, so it was wasted time. So somebody can journal and have the feeling, and that's 2 completely different results. So it's not about doing certain things, it's about doing things in a certain way. Okay, I don't say that to brag or boast. I say to impress upon you. This is what I learned along the way. Power of awareness. Okay, I'm going to send a video down in the chat, and I want you guys to watch it because we don't have enough time. But I want you to let me know if you guys actually see it. Right, here's my last piece to get off for today's call. There's 4 types of incomes in the world. You have manipulation. Okay, people that work a 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with that. 10, 12, 15 an hour. Okay, then you have number 2 as a coordinator. Managers, professors, 40, 50, 70K a year. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. But then we have level number 3 is communicators. This is all of us. They can make millions of dollars like speakers, actors, musicians. And last but not least is number 4, imagination. Imagination can make billions and trillions, just like Amazon, Tesla, every one of us. So the whole goal today is for us to go ahead and tap into the imagination. You realize our brand is building an imagination. Define Dreams, Natasha, Emmy, Jay, Trey. Your brand, your last name is the imagination to bring this into $1 billion plus impact. There's no limit. That's why my tag says impact 1 billion, because we've tapped in, we've brought out of the ether into the physical. And this is where levels are limitless. So, family, remember, we can be, do, and have anything. We can